welcome back again. Today is another wonderful day because it's a German day. 16 things not to do in Germany. Wow. Can't wait for it, guys. This is amazing. It's gonna be mind blowing. When it comes to Germany, guys, I am in the front seat. So, without delay, drag your seat and let's get right into the business. But don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out on more of my reactions, alright? Let's get into it already.
What's up, everybody? We are Diana and Phil. Diana is from the United States and I am from Germany, and in this video we're going over 16 things that you should not do in Germany.
Alright, so some of these things are a little more serious and some of them are going to be pretty funny, so let's just get right into it.
Alright, number one, you should never recycle wrong or throw away your Pfand.
Pfand!
So Germany is a pretty green country and people tend to take their recycling pretty serious. So if you're here, you should not just throw everything in one bucket, but separate it between plastic, metal, paper, rest and all that good stuff. I don't even know.
Yeah. I learned about that in one of my videos. One of the videos I did, I think I learned about how seriously Germans take their recycling. This is great. Kind of makes the everywhere clean.
Stuff. I don't even know how many there are.
So fund is a deposit where you pay a little extra on bottles or cans, and you'll usually return them at a little machine in the supermarkets where you get a voucher and your money back for doing a good thing. So never throw away your fund bottle. Pfund!
Number two, you should never drive on the left or the middle lane of the Autobahn. There's actually a law in place that requires you to drive on the right lane on the Autobahn at all times unless you're overtaking somebody. So if you're not planning to go super fast and overtake a lot of people, you're required to drive on the right lane. So don't drive in the middle or the left lane slowly and block traffic because people will get aggressive.
That's actually good though, because when you go out there on the highway, like over here, a lot of people drive totally nonsense because over here, I think we call it the speed lane. You don't want to speed and yet to go to the middle of the lane. It's so frustrating, especially when you're out trying to catch up with time and then somebody's just in front of you, like they're not even moving at all. It's really annoying, and I kind of love the fact that it is made a legal law over there. It's amazing.
Overtake a lot of people, you're required to drive on the right lane, so don't drive in the middle or the left lane slowly and block traffic because people will get aggressive.
And honk. Number three, don't walk in the bicycle lanes. In Germany, there are a lot of different bicycle lanes in and out of the city, and especially in student towns, there'll be a lot of bikers. So don't walk in them. Walk in the pedestrian zones or a sidewalk. That's what they're for.
Number four, do not address strangers using their first name. It is kind of funny, but in Germany for the word you, if you address somebody, we have two versions. There is du and there is sie. And sie is a polite version. It also implies that sie, you're on a last name basis. So that is the polite version to use. And if you meet somebody for the first time, or especially an elder person, you use the polite form. You do not use their first name. You are on a last name basis and use the sie instead of the du. And if you get to know a person very well and you're on a friend basis, on a first name basis, then it's fine to use the first name and the du. Du Diana.
Du Diana. Number five, don't use public transportation without a ticket. A lot of the public transportation systems are controlled a lot, and there'll be men and women who just appear once the ride has started to check on everyone to see if they have a ticket.
Wow, never to use a public transport without tickets. I mean, it makes it a whole lot safer, you know, like. Yeah, it makes it so much safer so that you don't even get into the wrong hands, you know, getting kidnapped or something. And something like that is really, it's a great one. It's just the safest way of keeping people, you know, sure of what they are going out for and where they're. Because imagine coming out to drop somebody in the park and then you never get a ticket for the vehicle they entered. So what if something goes wrong? And a lot of people have actually gone down with this should I say carelessness or something? But over here we don't see that always. You only see that on the, in registered companies. You don't see that in all public transports. Just a few, you know, just a few transport lines that give tickets. You don't see it in all the company lines. This is a great one. I think it's a great idea. I think my own country should copy this idea in order to to reduce the rate at which people get kidnapped, people get involved in accidents and are not being identified. And yeah, but if you have a registered book where all your passengers are being registered with a ticket issued, then definitely one will be able to identify who is who in cases of accidents and then in cases of kidnapping, because there's so many cases where someone enters a bus and never gets to where they were going to and never returns back home and is never found. All right, this is great.
Yeah, they're undercover. And the fines are usually kind of high or out of proportion with the ticket prices.
Yeah.
A number I always have in my mind is 60 euros, but nowadays it might be even more, like 80 or 100.
It's not worth it.
Okay, number 6, and this is a little bit more of a serious one. You should never show the Nazi salute or joke about Nazis in Germany. Of course, because of the history in Germany, it's kind of a forbidden thing to do. And most of the Germans nowadays were kind of raised by this post-World War II anti-Nazi generation. If another person comes to the country and does anything Nazi related, it's so out of our minds that it's so weird that the world still thinks that. So that's quite offensive and you should never ever do that. And by the way, the same thing also applies to sing the old version of the national anthem. And I think around the world a couple of people still think that might be it. And it's the one with the Deutschland, Deutschland über alles. That is the Nazi anthem. You're not allowed to sing that anymore. The real one is Einigkeit und Recht und Freiheit, blah blah blah. That's the newer national anthem, and that's the only one that's supposed to be sung in Germany.
Number 7, don't gossip in English in public. Most Germans have a very decent grasp of English and they'll probably understand you. I know it's very common when people go to other countries, they tend to gossip in another language. I've heard it spoken in different languages all the time, and it's a little uncomfortable and embarrassing when other people understand you. So to avoid uncomfortable situations like that, gossip behind their back.
Number 8. You should never disrespect the German quiet hours. So every day, or rather every night from 10 p.m. till 6 or 7 a.m. the next morning, in Germany, by law, there are quiet hours. So you're not supposed to like play loud music, do construction or anything like that. Most of the country kind of abides by that rule, which means there's very little noise pollution during the night when you're trying to sleep or relax. And I think it's a kind of a nice thing. So if you do that, the Germans probably will call the police on you because they think they're in the right and they do that and the police knocks and like turn it down. Never ever disrespect the quiet hours. Alright, so before we continue with the video, we want to take a quick moment to remind you guys, please go and like the video. It helps us out a lot. We're still a small channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. I can see that about 80% of the viewers are not subscribed to the channel. Also, if you want to further support us, you can do that on Patreon. We have a Patreon page. It's patreon.com/DianaandPhil. And we have different tiers of support and benefits that you get on there. And every support is highly, highly appreciated.
Yes, and we wanted to take a quick moment to shout out our newest soulmate Patreon, Jeff Lobig?
Jeff Lubik?
Lubik? We're not sure if it's the German or the English pronunciation. Correct us if we're wrong.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And back to the video.
So number 9, don't solely rely on credit card payments. In Germany, there's still a lot of things that are pretty cash-based, and sometimes your credit card will even be rejected from a stall or bakery or a vendor. So it's important to note and make sure you have cash on you. So number 10, don't expect small talk. If you're from the South and you're used to the good old Southern American small talk, that's not gonna happen. And it's not trying to be rude, it's just a cultural difference. So don't expect to chat with a random stranger about the weather or something.
Number 11 is do not expect free water anywhere. So if you're used to the American way, you go to a restaurant and the waiter comes right away with a nice bucket of cold ass water and refills you for free all evening long. That is not a thing in Germany and you should not expect that. I think it's quite of a dumb thing, but water in German restaurants is quite expensive and most of the times even bubbly.
Sprudelwasser.
So in some places you could actually ask for tap water and potentially get it for free, but a lot of places don't even do that, and if they do, it might be a little frowned upon, but in general you should not expect free water everywhere. Number 12. Do not enter a house with your shoes on. So all around Germany it's pretty common to take off your shoes if you enter somebody else's house or at least you should ask if you should take your shoes off. And sometimes they say, no, you don't have to, but a lot of times people take their shoes off right at the entrance, leave them there, and then just walk around in your socks.
Leave your dirty shoes in the front.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious how many of the households do that. I would say the majority of the households in Germany do that thing and do not walk around with their shoes on. Maybe let us know in the comments below if you had to take your shoes off at your parents' house or how you do it at the moment.
That's a good one. That's actually a way of over here in Nigeria. It's actually cultural. It's really, we see that more traditional, because traditionally, yes, you're not supposed to take your shoes in somebody's house. It's a sign of disrespect. It's so disrespectful for you to enter somebody's house without taking off your shoes. You know, like imagine moving around different places and then bringing those same shoes into somebody's house. And then those people you walk with their shoes into their home usually take off their shoes at the entrance. So why would you come and not take your shoes off before entering the house? Okay, so it's actually traditional over here in Nigeria.
So number 13, don't give advance birthday wishes. Even if it's a day before someone's birthday and you will not see them on their birthday, do not wish them a happy birthday.
It's not their birthday yet.
I learned that after coming to Germany. You are not allowed to wish them a happy birthday until on their birthday or after their birthday.
Yeah, and I was surprised to learn in the US that a lot of people do that actually.
Some people will have a party a week in advance if that just works with their schedule.
So much bad luck. Number 14 is kind of a very serious one. You should never, ever expect to be dressed in a sauna on every beach. All right, this is kind of a funny one. We just wanted to throw that in there. In Germany, in a sauna, usually you are naked. You go in with a towel and then you take it off or whatever, but you are actually not allowed to wear any clothing. If you wear clothing in there, people can get the whatever security or supervisors and they'll throw you out or make you undress.
You must be naked.
Yeah, there are also parts of beaches in Germany that are especially for nakedness, nudity.
Beaches.
Yeah, nude beaches. We call it FKK, Freikörperkultur. And on these beaches, you have to be naked. It's not allowed to wear any clothes.
Like fully naked?
Yeah, fully naked.
Yeah, so I've yet to go to a nude beach or a nude sauna, but I'm open to it.
Ho ho. Should I be concerned?
Why? Just gonna be a whole bunch of older people. So number 15, don't abandon your shopping cart. I feel like in the US sometimes there'll be shopping carts spread throughout the parking lot and they'll just be like a shopping cart ghost town. In Germany, that is not the case. You need a coin to access a cart and you also want your coin back. So you have to return the cart to get your coin back. And it's a good system, it's nice, and there's not...
You know guys, I have this feeling, I don't know if it is just a feeling, but the Germans are so organized and it's actually the sweetest part of them. I love that part of them. Like, there's high sense of organization, orderliness. It's so good. I love it. This is amazing.
Abandoned shopping carts everywhere.
And our last point number 16 is, in Germany, you should not jaywalk.
We ain't in New York City.
Yeah, but we're kind of in Berlin, so let's say you should not, but a lot of people still do it. Although I think the majority of the people kind of follow the rules and they do not jaywalk. You should always cross where the little traffic light is and then only when the green
man
mannequin,
tells you.
not the red one. And it's not that hardly persecuted, but you can actually get fined if you get caught in the act jaywalking. So the police sees you, gets you, and I don't know how much it is, 5, 10, 20 euros, something like that. So you should not jaywalk in Germany. All right, so those were our 16 things that you should not do if you go to Germany. Let us know in the comments below if you can think about any other things that you shouldn't do in Germany. Also, maybe you've been to Germany and some things of these might have happened to you. We would be curious to hear about that.
As always, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye! I wanted to say thank you to all our patrons who have joined our Patreon page. We really, truly appreciate your support and it really does help to run this channel, so thank you guys so much for your support. We hope you all are staying safe and healthy during this time. As always, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Wow, guys, that was really that was mind blowing. Getting to find out a lot of things about Germans, things not to do in Germany was really amazing. The part that really stood out for me is the fact that you remove your shoes every time you go to German homes. That was really amazing because that implies to other places to I don't know if it's generally an African tradition, but over here in Nigeria, it's disrespectful for you to go to somebody's houses and not take off your shoes. It's really bad, okay? Then the other one that I really love is not entering a bus without a ticket. It's really great. I love that idea. Like public transport without tickets, that is a high level of security right there, and I really admire that part of it too. So please let me know what your thoughts are on this video. What do you think? What more do you think that Germans don't do? Like things not to do in Germany. Let me know more of it in the comments, alright? I'm really curious. I'm so excited about it. Thank you so much for staying tuned and keep your recommendations posted. I really appreciate that too. I'll see you again in the next video. I remain your girl, Loren. Bye.